Welcome to this tutorial on the navigation component for Fragment navigation in Kotlin Android apps. The navigation component is a powerful tool from Android Jetpack that makes managing navigation between screens much easier and cleaner. In this video, we'll explore how to implement Fragment navigation using this modern approach. The navigation component is part of Android Jetpack, which is a collection of architecture components designed to make Android development easier. It provides a framework specifically for managing Fragment transactions throughout your app. Essentially, it handles navigation between different destinations, which could be fragments or activities. One of its biggest advantages is that it simplifies complex navigation patterns that would otherwise require a lot of boilerplate code. The navigation component architecture consists of three core parts that work together. First, the navigation graph is an XML resource file that defines all the possible destinations in your app and how they connect. Second, the nav host acts as a container that displays these destinations on the screen. And third, the nav controller is the object that actually manages the navigation between destinations. Think of the navigation graph as the map, the nav host as the display window, and the nav controller as the driver that takes you from one place to another. To start using the navigation component, you need to add two dependencies to your module-level build.gradle.ktx file. The first is navigation-fragment-ktx, which provides Kotlin extensions for Fragment navigation. The second is navigation-ui-ktx, which includes utilities for connecting navigation with UI components. Make sure to sync your project after adding these dependencies so Gradle can download the necessary libraries. Next, you'll create a navigation graph XML file. This file typically goes in the res/navigation folder. The root element is the navigation tag, and you'll give it an id attribute. The most important attribute is app::start_destination, which tells the system which fragment should be displayed first when the app launches. Inside, you define fragment elements, each with an id and a fully qualified name pointing to your fragment class. This creates a visual and programmatic map of your app's navigation structure. Now you need to add a nav host to your activities layout XML file. You'll use a fragment container view with the name attribute set to andrakes.navigation.fragment.navhostFragment. The app::navgraph attribute links this host to your navigation graph XML file. The app::default nav host attribute set to true ensures that this nav host intercepts the system back button, so navigation works correctly when users press back. This container will swap fragments in and out as users navigate through your app. To actually navigate between fragments in your Kotlin code, you first obtain a reference to the nav controller by calling findNavController. Then, when an event occurs, like a button click, you call the navigate method on the nav controller. You pass it the resource id of the action you want to trigger, such as r.id.action_home_to_detail. This triggers the navigation to the destination fragment defined in your navigation graph. It's that simple, and the navigation component handles all the fragment transaction code behind the scenes. Actions are defined inside fragment elements in your navigation graph. Each action element has an id attribute that you'll reference in your code and a destination attribute that specifies which fragment to navigate to. For example, you might create an action called action_home_to_detail inside your home fragment element. With the destination set to the detail fragment's id actions, provide a clean, declarative way to define all possible navigation paths in your app. SafeArgs is a Gradle plugin that generates type-safe classes for passing data between destinations. To send data, you create an action using the generated directions class, passing any arguments to the constructor. Then you call navigate with that action object. To receive data in the destination fragment, you use the by_nav_args delegate, which gives you a typed args object. You can then access the data using properties on that object. This approach is much safer than using bundles manually, because the compiler checks that you're passing the correct data types. Let's recap the key benefits of using the navigation component. First, it automatically manages the back stack, so you don't have to manually handle fragment transactions and back button behavior. Second, with safe args, you get type-safe argument passing, which prevents runtime errors from incorrect data types. Third, Android Studio provides a visual editor that lets you see and edit your app's navigation flow graphically. And finally, the navigation component has built-in support for deep linking, which allows users to navigate directly to specific screens from outside your app. These features make the navigation component an essential tool for modern Android development.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.